Hello. Today we will be reading Psalms 91. So I would like y'all to join me for that. Um, and thank y'all for joining me today. Um, and we'll get right to it. Safety of abiding in the presence of God. That's the little name above it. Alright, now on to Psalms 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked, because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your habitation. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. They shall bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent. You shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Thank y'all for joining me for the Bible reading. Also wanted to take this time here at the end of the video to give y'all a bit of advice. Oop, screen went dark. Okay, there we go. So I used to work at a hospital. I worked in cleaning. I'm not going to name the name of the hospital for obvious reasons. But I just wanted to give advice to people who are working at any hospital that might be getting a new job. If it is in cleaning, like collecting up trash and everything. When I was working, there was a problem we had come across. Some of the nurses, I'm pretty sure they were tired from how long they have to work. So, normally you're supposed to put needles in the sharp box. That's the red box with the white lid. Well, sometimes needles would get into the trash in the rooms. So my advice is do not press yourself up against trash bags as you're carrying them. And if you're like me, grossed out by stuff, wear long sleeves, something that'll cover your arms. Um, Now, the place I worked at, uh, we would gather up trash, linen, and biohazard. We'd take everything down to where we put the trash, uh, and the biohazard would go where it goes. You had a separate cart for biohazard. You'd So they had a stack of boxes. You would build up your box. You'd tape the bottom, and then you'd set a red bag into the boxes. All right, and so then you would go to whatever areas, and you would put, you'd collect up your biohazard. My puppy's right here. He's wanting to play. And you'd leave a new biohazard box. But that was your ears. Okay, go over there. Go over there. No. Sorry. Yes. Yes. Ow. That is my fingers you're biting. Oh. Oh. We can play later. Alright. No, you back up. No. Alright, I'm being attacked by the dog. Anyways, but we'd set out a new biohazard box. My advice to anyone who's going to work and do that stuff, double glove. And wearing long sleeves, that's to, if something does spill on you, whether it be trash or another, that's to, I ain't gonna say it's gonna keep you from it touching you, but it keeps less of it. It also just gives you a bit of that peace of mind. Like, there were times I would end up dropping something in my buggy, so I would have to go in and grab it. It's very gross in there, by the way. So you're basically just going to wear long sleeves, double glove up when it comes to biohazard. So I recommend on your little uniform where it has the pockets down on your stomach, stash you some like 4 gloves each run. I used to just fill my pockets full. All you'd see is these pockets bulging with just rubber gloves. I'd just store them in my work area and just pull from them, but a few kind of came home, but I was tired at that point, so yeah. But anyways, so pretty much that. And if you worked with what I worked with, which was Old Bess, that's a big machine. That's basically a trash compactor. You'd have to stick a key in, turn it, and hold a button, and it made a god-awful sound. But she'd push, box everything into a cube, and then drag back. I didn't like Old Bess too much. But would you go on, please? Thank you. I'm trying to give advice. Shoot. Um, but uh, I'm trying to remember. They were these big carts, these big like wheelbarrows, basically, giant ones. They were rubber. Um, so these things weren't easy to move. Uh, well, not for everyone. I found a little trick. If you grab onto the sides and you brace one foot on the wheel so it won't turn, you could pretty much shove it to the side up against the wall, and that's where you'd leave them, because you'd take two of these big wheelbarrow looking things and you'd replace the wheelbarrows in different areas. You'd take the full ones out and replace it with an empty one. Also picked up one. Those things are surprisingly heavy when empty, and one full, but if you know how to move them, they're a lot more manageable. Um, but not too fun to take into an elevator, though. I will say that much. The elevators tried to eat me. Those things would close. They would close. But I also lost my first phone at that place. The elevators also ate that. Those were some hungry elevators. But yeah. Oh, and every ghost story you hear at a hospital, take some hedons with it. Where I worked there at the end before I left where I worked, I called them little shadow creatures. They was about the height of a child, but there's just a black shadow. Now, if you ignored them, they wouldn't do nothing. They'd just run around. They ran out of the side visions. But if you looked to see what it was, then it'd happen a lot more. So we kind of learned just to keep eyes forwards. Just work. I was also in another building helping a coworker. And this building was new, I'm pretty sure. And the scariest thing in my life happened there. So, I was in the building, and yes, this video has de-evolved from me telling you some of the stuff to help you out, but anyways, I had my back turned to a hallway, was talking to my coworker, and I heard a baby cry. That place don't deal in babies. And there was nobody in there. But it was just a squalling youngin'. And it happened, then it cut out just as soon as it happened. My partner didn't hear it, but I did. I told her about it. And then, or no, I think she heard that one, but anyways, we was on another hallway. Because the way this place was, it was 4 levels, but there was only 3 that was actually used. 4th level was a storage. Never went up there. The few times I did, I would never want to be up there at night. But so, like I said, 3 levels. The first level, or first floor, which we called bottom floor, we didn't really call it first or second when we was actually working on it, because the building entrance is level 2, second floor. You'd enter in on the second floor, because it's connected to the hospital. And it wasn't above ground like tube that you walk through. It was ground level, doors on either side where you could go out into either parking lot. Well, if you can hear my other dog crying, he's crying because my dad went to work and he don't like when they go to work. He will give him an earful when he comes in to the house tonight. But anyways, I had my back turned to one of the other hallways. We were cleaning a spot and we started talking about something. Can't remember what it was. But I felt a finger jab into the lower side of my back, run up. I spun around as fast as I could. Nobody was there. She freaked out, thinking something happened. And I said someone jabbed her finger in my back and pulled up. There was nobody there. There's a lot that happens in a place like that. I'll tell you one thing. I much rather my place that I worked at, because the shadow creature thingies, I could deal with. I knew how to handle them. I didn't like that other place. No. But that place I was telling you about, the one with where someone jabbed their finger in my back. Don't know what that was, but it sure touched me. So like I was saying, 3 floors. And you enter in on the second. First floor is underground. There's not really any outside connections in a lot of the areas. There's one, but we never went out that, because that door always stayed closed and locked. It led to a staircase that went up to the parking lot. This place, now this is the cancer building that I've been talking about. It's where they take people and they do the necessary things for the people and everything. The first floor is the worst. So this floor, first floor, had one of the scariest doors I've ever seen in my life. It was a reinforced door. And there was 2 of them, because there was 2 areas that they worked in. Now, the reason for this is they had a big machine in this place. Don't know what it was called, but there was radiation warnings and everything, but we'd have to go in and clean. But these doors, they had a panel on the side, and it was all digitalized. Touchscreen. Anyways, and so the touchscreen on it showed a panel of buttons, but wasn't actually buttons, it was just stuff. But you'd poke one, and doors would start moving. It started out slow and then it started going a little faster. But these doors were this thick. That's over a foot thick. Oh, and they don't stop. When they go to close, they close. So keep your arms and your hands outside of the vehicle at all times, or inside the vehicle. But this one, you didn't want to put your hands inside of that. No. It was a thick reinforced door. And so I'm going to tell you the most useful advice out of all of this. Do not put your hand in front of any door. Doesn't matter if it's wooden, if it's metal, or them thick reinforced doors. Nor the elevators. Something I learned is sometimes the sensors work, sometimes they don't. Normally they work. The times they don't is the times where your heart drops. Just but I worked quite a few jobs at that place. I worked in cleaning elevators, I worked in cleaning trash, I worked in mopping floors, and I worked in doing floors. Difference between mopping and doing floors is mopping, you just clean. Doing floors, however, is where you strip it, you put down a fresh coat of wax, and everything like that. I ran the machines. I've been the one to walk behind the machines and mop after them. It's just... some of them things there were just more on the paranormal side, was just a little much. Not just a little, it was a lot much on that aspect of everything. But the video's going on pretty long. Oh, and I wanted to give a thank you to those who prayed for my nanny. Thank y'all very much. And if y'all don't mind, please continue praying. She's at home, but as they say, the journey of 1,000 steps isn't done in a day. So, y'all have a blessed day. May Jesus be with you, and may the Holy Spirit be with y'all. I love you all. Stay safe out there, and much love.